Y'all, the Minneapolis Police Department cannot be reformed. The Minneapolis Police Department needs to be dismantled. And we say this because we have studied history and we have watched what's happened in Minneapolis this week. MPD has shown us who they really are over and over and over and over again. It is not an accident when a cop is violent with a black person. It is not a result of bad training. Anti-blackness is part of the purpose of policing. Police forces grew out of slave patrols meant to catch black people who were escaping from slavery, trying to claim their own liberation, seeking freedom. And although Minnesota was not a slave state, black people in Minneapolis have always been the targets of police violence. The Minneapolis police were also found as a tool of genocide, y'all, to protect white settlers moving onto the land we're now on, pushing Dakota people off. This is in MPD's DNA. If police reform worked, we wouldn't be here right now. Minneapolis has actually been a poster child for reform as far as policing is concerned. And MPD has already passed a lot of the major police reforms that people are promoting around the country today. We tried it, didn't work. Telling you now, don't try it in other cities. We have had citizen review boards, body cameras, and a black chief. But we are still here, watching black people get murdered and tear gassed in our streets. It has taken a nationwide uprising to get 4 cops to be charged in the murder of George Floyd. And y'all, we can't keep doing this. When abolitionists fought for an end to slavery, a lot of white people argued that it would be impossible. That it would be chaos if black people were allowed to be free. But there were visionaries who knew it would be possible, that it was possible, that it is possible, that even if it took a reconstruction of the entire country, it was worth it. Minneapolis, we are here to make history today. We are here to rebuild our city on a different foundation. A foundation of real safety, protection for black people, for Native people, for immigrants, for disabled folks, for queer and trans people. Minneapolis, let's do it.
That's a thick mask. Bonjour. My name is Ariana Nason. I'm from Fond du Lac, and I have been a resident of South Minneapolis for a long time now. And I am here with my crew, with all of my people, all of my relatives, all of my friends, and all my family. And I am here to speak on behalf and with MPD 150 today. So, all of you lovely friends, all of you beautiful faces out here, it feels like May Day out here right now, but it's so much more than that. And I am so excited to see what else keeps coming out from every single person here today. So if you are here today, though, you're probably already agree that we need to abolish the police. But this isn't just about us. This is a beautiful start. This is a beautiful movement. But we have to keep building the movement outward in a sustainable way that's from connection, that's from resilience, that's from a place of joy, that's from a place of life-giving work. That is what we are out here to do. And this means conversation, this means political education. Our families, friends, and neighbors are going to have questions, lots and lots of questions about what a police-free future can look like. What does that mean? And we have a few points that have been helpful when we talk to our people. We've been doing this for a long time. Let us help you. Ruth Wilson Gilmore said, "Abolition is about presence, not absence. It's about building life-affirming institutions." So again, abolition is about presence, not absence. It's about building life-affirming institutions. We absolutely need to, and we will continue to defund and divest from the police and put that money back into our communities and to support the life-giving work that our communities have already been doing time immemorial. And no, there is not one specific model that we can point to. There is not one specific example because there is not one specific community that is going to be the best fit for everyone. We all know what we need to heal. We all already know within our communities what we can do, what we need, and what we need more of. And that's where we want to keep putting in that work, is building into that space. We have to look back at the wisdom of those who have lived in societies without police, because a reminder, the Minneapolis Police Department is only about 150 years old. That's not that old. 150 years, that's 3 generations tops. That's a short amount of time, and we can do that. We have at least 5 generations of people doing the work here in the crowd right now. So when we are talking about doing the work and building out a future, some of what we are talking about is visionary. So for example, when people ask, who will I call when I need help? That's a valid question, because not everyone is connected to community, to their neighbors, to their family, like a lot of us are lucky to be able to. Being connected is a gift, and one I want to keep working on giving, and one I want to keep working on cultivating. So when people ask us that, we let them know that first of all, for many of us, police have never been helpful. They have never been the option. They have never been a safe option, period. For many of us, police is fear, is danger. So having other people to call isn't a brand new revolutionary idea. It's something that thousands of our neighbors are already practicing. So for example, back north, on my res where I'm from, there's this notion where it's like, you don't call cops, you call family. Like, you don't call cops, you call your neighbor. You call the people that know you. You call the people that know what's going on, and you build from there. That is who is safe. That is who knows how to handle it, because we know how best to communicate with each other, because we are connected. So, the second thing that we do know for sure is that we're not abolishing help, we're abolishing the police. Just flat out. There can be and needs to be someone to call when we're in crisis, and sometimes that's going to look informal, like neighbors. Sometimes it's going to be more formal, like social workers that we trust, that we put into our communities, that we choose who are there. But the point is, we choose who we get to call, and we choose who responds to us. That is so important. The ultimate safety is being able to choose how your life is supported. We absolutely do not want to just rebrand police, change the color of their uniform, and call them something else. Like, no. Just no. We're not going there. We can think critically about what unarmed crisis response teams must be, or they might look like. So if there is a crisis in your community, folks have an agreed upon response. Folks know how to support each other and hold each other up. And as we've been saying, we can and should and must invest in community-led safety measures that are not just neighborhood watches of vigilantes snooping on each other. Like, I swear, if I'm walking home one more time and I hear the same guy on my block screaming at me to go home, like, no. That's not safe. We have to do the work to imagine something different and to listen to what people in our own neighborhoods and our communities want. We have to practice listening. And we have to take what we are given when we are noticing these things and turn it outward. We have to create and shape the change. So one last point that has been very useful to us in conversation with people who aren't going to show up to an event like this, and that's fine. It's about talking about harm and violence through a public health lens. Harm reduction. When you are preventing the problems, it is more efficient, it is more sustainable. Flat out, if you need to talk about it, it's more cost effective. It really is. Saying that we want to divest from punishment and invest in prevention, not just because it's right or the cool thing to talk about right now, but because decades of data prove that it's more effective at keeping us safe. We do not need more cops. We need more youth programs, mental health services, addiction treatment options, including a harm reduction approach. We need to decriminalize all of the things that are giving the police an excuse or trying to give them an excuse to arrest us for absolutely no reason other than trying to survive. We need more housing. We need more sustainable jobs, especially under the current conditions right now. We have no idea what the future is going to look like, but we get to decide. Lastly, MPD150.com has a very, very handy tab right on the right side of the page that's frequently asked questions. It's a good resource, and it's accessible, and we have it translated.
Wow, one more time. Let's give it up for Miss Noor and Ariana Neeson. Before we continue with our program, we want to make another announcement around interpreters. So folks who are in need of ASL interpretation, you can go over here to the tree, right here, and then I'll let y'all.
Si necesitan interpretación hacia el español, ahí tenemos una mesa con equipo de interpretación. Ahí vas a poder escuchar toda la plática en español. Ahí pueden venir a recoger su equipo.
Assalamu alaikum, magacayga Naima la dhahaa. Waxaan joogaa miiska halkaas oo miiska cad igu kuluma hadda af Soomaali turjumaan u baahan tihiin. Mahadsanid.
Thing. Mic switching. Yes, so next what I'm going to do is call up our council members and pass over the mic to our council president, Lisa Bender. And so give it up for them. Yes, they out here, y'all. This is brave, you know? This is brave. I know people were on Twitter yesterday, okay? This is what leadership looks like right here. This is what leadership looks like. Folks who are willing to drop into imagination and into a vision, that is leadership. And folks who are willing to bring their people with them, that is what leadership is. Don't let them get it twisted. And before I pass the mic over, I just want to really emphasize some of the points that were made, that this is about something that we can grow together, and that this hits across all of our communities, right? All of our communities, and especially is impacting Black people, especially impacting Indigenous folks and folks of color. And I think that's critical, right? Most deportations start at an arrest by a police officer. Most deportations start at an arrest by a police officer. And there are many other issues in which police have been asked to solve issues or problems or whatever that keeps us all unsafe. And so just a reiteration that we all here together, we all have a vested interest in defunding MPD. And thank you. So now I'll pass it over to Lisa. Let me grab you the mic.
Thank you. Is that working? Hi, Minneapolis. You look so beautiful today. I'm Lisa Bender. I'm the president of the Minneapolis City Council. Thank you to Black Visions Collective. Thank you to Reclaim the Block. Thank you to our Black leaders, our communities of color, our Indigenous leaders, and to every single one of you who's raising your voice in the streets of Minneapolis, demanding change. We're here because we hear you. We're here because George Floyd was killed by the Minneapolis police. We are here because in Minneapolis and in cities across the United States, it is clear that our system of policing is not keeping our communities safe. Our efforts at incremental reform have failed. Period. Our commitment is to do what's necessary to keep every single member of our community safe and to tell the truth that the Minneapolis police are not doing that. Our commitment is to end our city's toxic relationship with the Minneapolis Police Department, to end policing as we know it, and to recreate systems of public safety that actually keep us safe. And these are your words. We hear you, and we're here to make our commitment to your words, to your leadership. So I invite every single resident of Minneapolis into a conversation about how we move forward together, while we center the voices of individuals and communities who are most impacted by community violence and by police violence. We have an amazing team of leaders at the Minneapolis City Council. Look at them here. And it is an honor to serve with them and to turn the mic over to our brilliant City Council Vice President, Andrea Jenkins.
Yeah, what she said. Y'all don't know, this is Oluchi right here. I asked Oluchi to come stand with me and have my back so I can tell y'all why we wear the color purple. A requiem for the queers, or why we wear the color purple. We wear purple because all queens deserve a royal crown. Because it speaks volumes to those who claim they are colorblind, and it connects us to an ancient cultural legacy. We wear purple because Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, two stars, street transvestite action revolutionaries, wore purple when they marched at Stonewall. We wear purple for all the queers who died on June 24th, 1973 in New Orleans when a bigoted homophobe sprayed Ronzinol lighter fluid on the stairs and tossed a match, and the ensuing flames traveled to the upstairs lounge, killing 32 people just 4 years after Stonewall. We wear purple for all the queer and questioning youth that will sleep under a bridge or trade sex for a place to stay tonight. We wear purple for the indigenous, two-spirit people, representing our struggle on the daily. We wear purple because radical women of color feminism shapes our mindset and thought process, offering critical resistance to the prison industrial complex, male patriarchy, and religious subjugation. Man, it's kicking out here today, y'all. We wear purple because we have to rewrite the narrative of what is and who is a woman. We wear purple because the intersections of race, class, gender, and sexuality is the street we live on, and we can't move even if we wanted to. We have to act against what is considered normal. All of y'all can go and get married now. But I can't even vote because my ID does not match up to the person standing in the ballot box. All of y'all can go and get married now, but I still have to suffer a urinary tract infection because I can't go to the bathroom in some public spaces. All of y'all can go and get married now, but CeCe McDonald was locked up in the men's prison at St. Cloud Correctional Facility for defending herself from racist, transphobic, and homophobic attacks, while George Zimmerman, who murdered Trayvon Martin, is still walking around a free man with his gun in his waistband. All of y'all can go and get married now. And believe me, I am truly happy. It means that we have moved a little closer to a more just, more righteous society. But we still got a long way to go. The personal is political. We wear purple for Miss Major and the Transgender Intersex Justice Project, my homegirl from Chicago who marched at Stonewall 2 and is still putting in revolutionary work for the trans brothers and trans sisters on lockdown. We wear purple for Leslie Feinberg and Kate Bornstein, two transgender warriors. We will never forget what they taught us about who we are and what we are, and how beauty is our birthright too. I wear purple for my people, my beautiful queer people. And what if love was the most powerful word in the ethos? Love. Love, 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 love. And what if my queer people were the embodiment of that love? Representing everything and nothing. We wear purple because Elton John sang. And you can tell everybody this is your song. I know it might sound simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind if I put down in the words how wonderful life is. when queers are in the world. Thank you, everybody. This is a journey. This ain't gonna happen overnight. This ain't gonna happen tomorrow. We need everybody. We need everybody's voices included. We need everybody's energy, everybody's manpower to reshape what public safety looks like in our community. So we're counting on you to be at the table to make this thing happen. I'm gonna turn over the microphone to Council Member Alondra Cano.
Hola, buenas tardes. My name is Alondra Cano. I'm the daughter of undocumented immigrants. I'm the Ninth Ward Council member. And I am no longer a reformist. Your truth, your beauty, your consistency, your power, and your strength allows me to be here today showing up as a person who believes that we should and can abolish our current Minneapolis police system. In that light, and in that future that I know we can build together, because we've been doing it, now we're going to accelerate it. I believe there is a space for everyone, and that no human life is disposable. I am here to send a message to many today, and one of those Black leaders is our Chief of Police, a respectable, kind person who has had to carry the responsibility of this burden alone for far too long. And I want him to know that I am here to make sure we can all bring that responsibility and that burden home, and we're going to create a fear-free future where every life is truly protected and respected. I encourage all of our officers who are still on duty to continue to do your work with compassion, with respect and love. We're going to need every single human to be a part of this project. I believe in a future where every single life is a part of us and no one is disposable. I believe we can do this. We're going to bring this policing system from the upside down, and we're all going to stand in the sunlight, and we're going to build this community together brick by brick, one by one. We're here today to talk about our vision, all of us together, all of these beautiful council members, courageous and brave. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the process of how we're going to get there, because the process also leads to the vision. I believe this summer is going to be a truth and reconciliation summer for all of us. I believe we need to start that process of digging deep into all the harms and hurts, into all the pauses, into all the challenges, opportunities, into all the rainbows and wild horses. That's what I believe we're going to have to do this summer. A truth and reconciliation community engagement process to ensure that whatever we end up with has involved everyone that wants to be a part of that conversation. We need to be able to create that third space where we engage each other deeply and on a very human level, above and beyond, in a both-and moment, outside of protests and press conferences. Those things are still needed, but we need to be able to sit down with each other and really dig deep to see what it's going to take to get us to the other side. Radical collaboration is what I've been seeing in the past couple of days, now almost 2 weeks. Deep mutual aid, multiracial coalitions. We're going to have to make sure that every single community of color is present and centered. The American Indian community, the Latino community, the Somali community, the African American community, our white allied community. We all need to bottom line that work. I believe we are brave. I believe we are loved. I believe many of us can see that a new world indeed is possible. And on a sunny day in South Minneapolis, we can hear her breathing. Last but not least, to our young earthbenders, waterbenders, airbenders that are watching this, please know that we are going to need your love, your support, your aunties, your mom and dad, your cousins. We're all going to need your support and your love and your care and your attention here. So yip yip.
Strangest pandering I've seen in a while.
The big bison. That's what he says. That's what he says to the bison.
I noticed Alondra didn't shout out that firebender, so I'm just going to say one up for the firebender. So I want to apologize to everyone for being your Mayday Constellation Prize. I know the City Council is not an exciting constellation prize to that. This council is going to dismantle this police department. Alright, Derek, I'm going to say it again. This council is going to dismantle this police department. So I'm warning to everybody in the crowd, if we don't have your vigilance, if you don't stay in this fight, I fear that this council or another will simply glue it back together. So I'm not too great with rah-rah speeches, and so I'm going to just keep it pretty calm. I did want to talk to you all a little bit about solidarity. I know that we've had a lot of folks up here. Alondra spoke to it. Our Native brothers spoke to it. But I want to tell you about a call I got from a few friends of mine from Colombia. For those that don't know, in the country of Colombia, they have one of the worst human rights crises. More people are killed by police and the military there, more Colombian citizens than anywhere else in the world. And for those that don't know, when we talk about black people, we're not just talking about black people in the U.S. There's a huge amount of black people all over South America, obviously all over the world. I was talking to them, and they said, you know, Jeremiah, we want to stay in contact with you about what you guys are doing. We want to know what the best practices are, which was really humbling to me because I think that often there are places around the world that have done more radical work than we have here in the U.S., certainly more radical work than we've done here in Minnesota. So I was humbled for them to say that they wanted to talk to me and to track what we're doing here at the City Council. And they offered me a refrain or a poem that I want to read to you guys that they read when somebody is killed by police in Colombia. So I'm going to read that for you guys here. It goes, my voice is now shouting, my dreams remain intact. Remember, I will only perish if you lose your commitment. Because those who have died in this struggle live on in every brother and sister. And for those who have died, not 1 minute of silence. We must always carry on the struggle and the fight. For how long? Forever. Until how long? Until victory, or if need be, until our death. I want to say that it could be tempting for us to, I think, give a moment of silence to George Floyd. It could be tempting to us for us to give a moment of silence to Breonna Taylor because that's what we do. But I'm going to urge you to not give one moment of silence because it is your voice. It is your fight that has got us to this point. So not one moment of silence for those who have died. I want to thank all of you for staying vocal, and we're going to be in this fight with you together. And we're going to work, and we're going to fight, and I think that with your support, with you at our backs, we're not going to fail. Thank you.
Hi everyone. So we get to step into an opportunity to make sure we keep each other safe. Marin, we found Annika. She's down here by the blue tent. Marin, little baby's looking for you. Amy, is that right? We will take you to her. But if you can come down to the blue tent, so that we can connect y'all again, please. And if y'all know Marin and Annika, they're in the crowd somewhere. We just want to make sure that they get reconnected. So again, we're down here at the stage. Marin, come down, okay? Thank you all.
Hey everybody, how you doing? We stand strong today. My name is Philippe Cunningham, and I'm the Minneapolis City Council member representing the 4th Ward in North Minneapolis. And as a black, queer, transmasculine person, I want to first start off with saying that we are here because of our ancestors and elders, such as Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, who threw the first bricks at police officers at Stonewall, fighting police brutality. We can never forget where our roots are. So we honor our ancestors and elders. Right now we stand at a precipice of revolutionary change. COVID-19 has just ravished our communities and our economy. We have an opportunity to rebuild that economy that is not rooted in white supremacy, racist ideology, and one that is rooted in community. As we are rebuilding public safety, we have a real opportunity here to rebuild public safety. We have a very clear opportunity to do so in a way that's rooted, again, in community and justice. I stand before you humbled at the opportunity to be in elected office. For those of you who don't know, when I ran for office, I actually unseated a 20-year city council president incumbent. Thanks, Sarah. So while I stand before you here now, I recognize the absolute blessing that I have in order to be here, and I will fight nonstop. This work is not new. We know that. And across the entire city, over the past 2 weeks, we have seen that it is possible for us to keep our own community safe. In North Minneapolis, as the buildings were being broken and burned by white supremacists and extremists, MPD was nowhere to be found. And with all due respect to the fire department, they were putting us on wait lists as black-owned businesses burned. So we had to come together ourselves in order to protect our community, to be able to protect the little bit of community wealth that we've been able to build. And so now even the loudest police fans in my ward who have been vocally against the work that I've been doing, even they are saying, this is clearly broken. Even they see it now. They're pausing to reflect on the reality of the times when they have called the police and the kind of service that they got. They're reflecting on the fact that they were nowhere to be found as we were in crisis. While we have no paradigm for policing that is not rooted in white supremacy, we do have a paradigm and a way to have community safety that is rooted in community and justice. We've seen that all across the city the past 2 weeks. And so you'll have to forgive me right quick. I will get a little bit professorial. It is possible for us to do this because we have a model called the public health approach to public safety. What that does is it looks at violence from an epidemiological perspective, that it is a disease that spreads interpersonally and intergenerationally. So therefore, it can be prevented and treated. Even here in Minneapolis, we as a city council have operationalized strategies that are working. We have seen a precipitous drop of gang involvement because folks are being offered a off-ramp from that life by community members. The reality is that folks have been doing this work for decades but not getting paid for it. And now is the time for us as a city to start paying the community members who have been doing this work for decades and need to get paid. All that money has been going into the police department, and what have we gotten in return? pain, trauma, and hurt. It is time for us to get behind community and to get behind the strategies that we know work. And you have a majority of the city council here today ready to back that up. Thank you, everybody.
Decades of police reform efforts have proved that the Minneapolis Police Department cannot be reformed.
They will never be held accountable for their actions. And will never be held accountable for their actions.
We are here today to begin the process of ending the Minneapolis Police Department.
And creating new transformative model for cultivating safety in Minneapolis.
We recognize that we don't have all the answers to what a police-free future looks like, but we know that the community does.
We are committing to engaging with every willing community member in Minneapolis over the next year to identify what safety looks like for you.
We will be taking intermediate steps towards ending the MPD through the budget process and
other policy and budget decisions over the coming, I want to say it right, and other policy and budget decisions over the coming weeks and months.
All of us on this stage support this statement, and we stand with the people of Minneapolis and fighting for a safer community.
So, that was a big one, y'all. We just made history, y'all. And as many of them, as they spoke, encouraged, this is the beginning, right? This is a continuous fight. If you got questions, if you need answers from your council members, they right here, y'all. If you got some tension with them, actually community-led safety means we address tension with each other together, okay? If you want to hold them accountable, you know where they work. So, there are big questions ahead of us about how to dismantle the police department and build up the resources that really keep us safe. But there is also so much knowledge right here in Minneapolis, in this park today, and across the country. The world is watching us, Minneapolis. It's time for every single person here to roll up our sleeves, find our role, and start learning, dreaming, and planning together. I want to thank our council members who are here, just like deeply from the bottom of my heart. I know this takes a lot of courage. I know Black organizers and POC organizers got y'all here, so don't let that story get twisted in the media, yo. And y'all are here, and that's critical. And before I pass it over for actually community members to be in small groups and talk about what comes next, I just need to give a lot of love to the young Black people, the queer people, the women who never get seen, who never get recognized, who got to bend here every single moment. For believing when someone told us we were too radical, like we didn't have a plan, like we didn't know what that anxiety felt like every time we saw police officers and knew something was wrong about that. Y'all kept fighting. And y'all let everybody else in this park here today and really everybody else across the country and this world. And I am blessed and humbled to be in this fight with y'all. So we're going to take a couple breaths together, because healing justice is what it's about too. So I want to invite you to close your eyes or drop your gaze. Invite you to get in touch with this ground that our bodies are blessed to be able to be on. And I want you to think about the young person in your life who gets to grow up in a city without police. I want you to think about what's going to be different about their life. I want you to think about what you all helped make possible today. I want you to think about the smile that they have when they get to walk to the grocery store and never have to fear for their life again. And together, let's take 3 big breaths. Calling in our power, calling in the wisdom of our ancestors, calling in the mandate that we have to future generations. Together, breathe in and out. Again, breathe in our possibility. Breathe out false barriers that may try to hold us back. Breathe in new possibilities for safety in our community. And breathe out doubt, because we got each other. So now what we're going to do, because I'm an organizer. Oh yeah, shout out to the organizers, because that's how we got here. Period. Don't start to act like it's just random. Like we randomly decided to go to Jacob Fry's house yesterday. No, I have no reason to be on that block, other than to harass that man. So, what I want you to do is turn to small groups. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's other folks on your block that you're sitting next to, and maybe it's a new friend, a new homie. And what I want you to talk about, we're going to give you all about like 15, 20 minutes, is what questions do you have? Because we know you got questions. What are your hopes? And what is one thing you will do to move this work forward? Because again, this is on all of us. We can't rely on Black and brown bodies to keep this fight forward. We know we're going to be led by them, period. All of us. And then, because, receipts are real, y'all. We need to actually know that y'all are in it with us. What I want to ask the small group is, pick a leader. Oh my God, I love how, organized a year this is. We have a leader full movement. So pick someone in your group to email us your answers, okay? So you can email them to reclaimtheblock@gmail.com. with Sunday community meeting in the subject line. Like, this is how we do it. Google gonna get an influx. So we're gonna take 15 to 20 minutes. And before, I move on, I just wanna make sure folks know who really guided us here. Shout out to Reclaim the Block and Black Vision, who have been calling for the defunding of the police for a minute now. And we are grateful that you are all here with us. All right, so like we do, turn to a partner, turn to someone next to you, and talk about what question, what hopes you have, and make sure you email us your answers. Thank you. And then, come on back together. When I say Black Lives, you say matter. Black Lives! Black Lives! When I say Black Lives, you say matter. Black Lives! Black Lives! All right. So I know we're having some really deep and powerful community conversations. I want y'all to know that this is what our future is gonna feel like. That this is gonna be part of our regular practice. Like, we don't live in a democratic world right now, but we can surely ensure and build democracy, and that's what this is. So shout out to y'all for being here. Shout out to y'all for rolling up your sleeves and digging into these hard conversations. I appreciate y'all. Now I am blessed to introduce Janada. Janada should be an inspiration to all of us, but is a visionary artist and like community auntie kind of, it's like something there, yeah. Who is gonna read a poem for us that honestly really changed my perspective in this work. And shout out to all the artists, because y'all are the reason that we have this vision in the first place. Come on, more love for the artists, y'all. I know y'all are retweeting and sharing their pictures for free. More love to the artists, y'all. Let's go, let's go.
Hello? Oh, shit. Hey, everyone. I just want to tell y'all I love y'all. And I think that we deserve better than police. I've lived with police my whole life in my schools, in my neighborhoods, harming people I love and not doing anything that we need. So I wrote a poem 5 years ago, actually, around the time Michael Brown was murdered, around what is the energy spirits that we need in our communities and streets, instead of people who got guns from communities that don't understand us, who have repressed white supremacist tendencies. We don't need it. So this is a poem called "Could We Please Give the Police Departments to the Grandmothers?" Could we please give the police departments to the grandmothers? Give them the salaries and the pensions and the city vehicles, but make them a fleet of vintage Corvettes, Jaguars and Cadillacs with white leather interior, diamond in the back, sunroof top, dig in the scene with the gangsta lean. Let the cars be badass. You would hear the old school jams like Patti LaBelle, Anita Baker, Prince, Al Green. You would hear Sweet Honey in the Rock harmonizing on "We Who Believe in Freedom Will Not Rest," bumping out the speakers. And they got the booming system. If you up to mischief, they will pick you up swiftly in their sweet ride and look at you until you catch shame and look down at your lap. She asks if you are hungry and you say yes, and of course you are. She got a crown of dreadlocks, and on the dashboard you see brown faces like yours, shea buttered and loved up. And there are no precincts, just love temples that got spaces to meditate, eat delicious food, mangoes, blueberries, nectarines, cornbread, peas and rice, fried plantain, yams, greens, pecan pie, lemonade. All that good food. Things that make your mouth water and soul arrive. All the hungry bellies know warmth. All the children expect love. The grandmas help you with homework, practice yoga with you, and teach you how to make jambalaya and coconut cake from scratch. When you're sleepy, she'll start humming and rub your back while you drift off. A song that she used to have the record of when she was your age. She remembers how it felt like to be you and be young and not know the world that good. Grandma is a sacred child herself who just circled the sun enough times into the ripeness of her cronehood. And she wants your life to be sweeter. When you wildin' out because your heart is broke or you don't have what you need, the grandmas take your hand and lead you to their gardens. You can lay down amongst the flowers, grasses, roses, dahlias, irises, lilies, collards, kale, eggplants, blackberries. She wants you to know that you're safe, protected, universal, limitless, sacred, sensual, divine, and free. Grandma is the original warrior, wild since birth, comfortable and loving fiercely. She has fought so that you don't have to, not in the same ways at least. So give the police departments to the grandmas. They fearless, classy, actualized, blossomed from love. They wear what they want and they say what they please. Believe that. There wouldn't be noise citations when the grandmas ride through our streets, blasting Stevie Wonder, Nina Simone, Marvin Gaye, Alice Coltrane, Jimi Hendrix, KRS-One, all that good music. The kid's gonna hula hoop to it and sell her lemonade made from heirloom pink lemons and maple syrup. The car is solar powered and carbon footprintless. The grandmas designed the technologies themselves. At night they park the cars in a circle so all can sit in them with the roofs down and look at the stars. Talk about astrological signs. What to plant tomorrow based on the moon's mood and help you memorize Audre Lorde and James Baldwin quotes. She always looks you in the eye and acknowledges the light in you with no hesitation or fear. And Grandma loves you fiercely forever. She sees the pain in our bravado, the confusion in our anger, the depth behind our coldness. Grandma knows what oppression has done to our souls and is going to change it one love temple at a time. She has no fear. Thank you, everyone. Thank y'all for coming out here and fighting to end this atrocity of our society. This is what a good ancestor looks like, being up in the park right now and resisting the police state. Also, if you would like to support my work, I got some posters of this poem, parts of the poem over there, so just if you're interested. My name is Junauda, Junauda, and I love y'all, and like Black Lives Matter, defund the police, refund our communities.
Ready? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we kind of forgot about pandemic. We had to give some love. It was worth the risk. Last but certainly not least, I want to call up Aluchi. So if folks were attending the protest right now, yesterday, Aluchi was helping at the head of that, was there with me, making sure that we held our mayor accountable and, basically grounded him back to his home. So Aluchi, to you, my friend.
Yeah, okay. Hey, y'all. My name is Aluchi. I use any pronouns. Originally from St. Paul. Shout out to St. Paul right now, a little bit. A little bit of St. Paul. But I live in the Minneapolis. I rep the 612. So they called me out here to be a little hype, right? Because, as a Leo, I can be a little hype. I actually wrote some shit down, so let me read that real quick. First of all, thank y'all for being here, right? Like, if it wasn't for community, we wouldn't be at this moment. So give a huge shout out to yourselves in this moment. I think y'all can be a little louder. So today is June 7th, 2020. Today, the Minneapolis City Council announced that they were dismantling the Minneapolis Police Department. You gotta say things in threes for emphasis. Minneapolis City Council announced that they will dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. The Minneapolis City Council announced that they're going to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. That is not just historic for Minnesota, that is not just historic for the United States, but this is historic for the whole world. Councilmember Ellison, I call him Jeremiah, he said that black people live outside of the United States, which is true. My parents were born and raised in Nigeria. Shout out Niger. Hey, Ibokwenu. But we have to know that the fight here is also for the fight over there. And we have to know that even though the uprising started in Minneapolis, it's going on everywhere, y'all. It's going on in D.C. It's going on in Atlanta. It's going on in Colombia, in Nigeria. And what a better way, what a better fucking day than the day that the purple one was born, y'all. Prince always said that the revolution is gonna start in Minneapolis. And look at this, my niggas! Look at this, my niggas! And you know, my non-niggas too, y'all here as well. But this is incredible. This is so much momentum, so much pain, so much anger, so much sadness that we have had to endure for centuries, right? But with that, so much joy, so much appreciation, so much love, so much gratitude, so much happiness, so many happy tears, right? Yesterday, we saw thousands of Minneapolitans, thousands of Minnesotans come together and tell Mayor Fry, we don't want no Minneapolis Police Department. We got to hold him accountable, y'all, to his face. And then today, stark difference, we have 9 city council members who are all vowing to disband the Minneapolis Police Department. So I just want y'all to sit with that. And I also want y'all to know, just because we dismantle NPD does not mean that dismantles white supremacy. That does not mean that white people, y'all get to take a break. That does not mean we stop centering black people in every conversation that we have. I need y'all to continue reading. I need y'all to continue following black leadership, and I need y'all to continue learning about what intersectionality means, what abolition means, what capitalism means, right? What imperialism means. So that we can actually gain a liberatory future where black people are actually liberated. And I also want y'all to be part of this process, because what we're trying to build is community-led safety. And what is community-led safety without the community? Just another police force, if y'all didn't know. So y'all need to be in these conversations with us. I need to listen to every single Minneapolitan and say, what does community safety look like to you, right? And I also want y'all to just think, if your council member was on this stage today, I need y'all to call them. I need y'all to text them. I need y'all to go to their houses if you know where they live, if they're in their neighborhood, and thank them. Because this shit right here is brave as fuck. This shit right here is brave as fuck. The first city in the United States of America, y'all. So I love chants. I'm gonna do a little chant for them. For all of the city council members who are still here, it's the "We Love You" chant. It gets people hyped, and we're just gonna do that for like 2 seconds. So, we love you, we love you. We love you, we love you. Hey, we love you, we love you. We love you, we love you. Hey, we love you, we love you. We love you, we love you. Thank y'all so fucking much. So to close today, we need y'all to talk to your community members who are not here right now. If your city council member was not here right now, why? Ask them why. Why Kevin Rank? Why Linnea Palmisano? Why Lisa Goodman? Why aren't y'all here today standing with community? Can y'all do that for me? I believe in enthusiastic consent. Can y'all do that for me? So again, we wanted to thank you for coming out. We wanted to thank you for your words, for your energy, and know that the revolution started here and it will end here, and we are here together, y'all. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming out, y'all.